leaving for 45 minutes to go see that.
Come on in here. We're going to dance.
Come here. Turn around here. Turn around. Now, where's Dad? Is that Dad?
Right there, the movie.
Hey, Dad. Hi, Dad.
Action Jackson coming up.
That's going to be in your living room the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm going to be there all your life.
Oh, wow. Well, he can show that.
Scaring all the neighbors.
Yeah, you can get the neighbors out of your house when you want to get rid of them.
Like your hat, Joe.
Say, Mom, I need money.
Now our tour does start as soon as we leave the shuttle area. Take a look over to your right, you'll see the back of our animation. And each one of those ears weighs about 5,000 pounds. As we turn off of Dopey Drive and onto Mickey Avenue, take a look over to your left and you'll see our base bungalow building. Actually, that's just fancy Hollywood talk for the office space provided to production teams that are currently filming here at our studio. In bungalow number 1, we have Devoted Production, which just wrapped up filming on Quick Changes, a movie due out next year that stars Gina Davis, Jason Robards, Randy Quaid, and Bill Murray. And we're proud to say that in bungalow number 3, the topiary that you see, the animal or object-shaped plant, they can take up to 10 years to fully develop. But even so, this is our fastest growing department, but it is the root of a lot of bad jokes. Now, Elliot, our dragon topiary, has been growing for about 8 years now. Warren Beatty's detective costume from his upcoming production Dick Tracy due out later this fall. The 25-year-old costume worn by Julie Andrews as she portrayed the classic Mary Poppins. Captain EO spacesuit worn by Michael Jackson. And costumes from some of the co-stars of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Here at our studios, we have over 100 talented artists, and they both create and design our costumes for our motion picture, television, and live entertainment needs. And with well over 2.25 million. And our final shop is our scenic shop. Inside here, construction begins on sets that are later finished on the sound stages. So the guys working here are a lot of fun, but I never go anywhere with them. Because no matter where they are, they're welcome to our back on Residential Street. But if you're thinking about moving in, I think twice. And take a look at the first house on the right. And you'll see it's just a facade or an empty shell. This house was recently used in some isotoner commercials and also some Better Homes and Gardens commercials. You might want to look for those as we'll be airing around November or December. And we do have one resident on our street. It's good old 58 Kirby's on that side. Although, part of the studios it's getting a little hard to find a good parts these days. And speaking of homes, take a look to your left at the Space House. It will be the second one on your left. That's on the second unit. Now they'll take pictures of this house in different times of the day and in different weather. And then they'll send that footage to be transferred to videotape out to California, and then it will be edited into the rest of the show. Now the last house that you see on the left, the blue one, now this is a perfect example of what set decorators do to a house when they prepare for a shoot. They'll add details such as the doghouse in the side yard or the big wheel on the driveway. And it's that attention to detail that makes such a tremendous difference to the camera. It really gives that house a lived-in look. But as we turn the corner, take a look around to the front of the church. And you'll notice just how easily it fits the big city role. Our television series, Zorro. Now the house at the end of Zorro was soon joined by a Western street, a residential street, and a town square. Over the years, our backlot has changed quite a bit since those early house at the end of Zorro. Much like ours will change each time we get a new production here in our own studios. The area on your right is what we refer to as a boneyard.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
Hi, Linda.
Good to see
For
you.
etiquette, you have to do that. And this is where we store old props and set pieces until we can use them again. Some of the props that you see here do have to be pretty patient though. This old-looking brown keelboat that you see was last used in 1976. It starred in the Disney motion picture The Treasures of Madagume. Incidentally, that was one of the first motion pictures to be partially shot on Disney property, being shot on Bay Lake 13 years before the studios were built. Just beyond this blue and white boat, you'll see a copper desert skiff. The opening sequences of Return of the Jedi. You'll also see a silver pod from the Flight of the Navigator, and a land speeder from The Empire Strikes Back. Look across even beyond the canal, and you'll get another perspective on residential streets. Notice how the architectural details stop just outside of camera range. That's because we only build what the camera needs to see. And residential street is a great place to visit, but I don't think you'd want to live there. There's not too much privacy in that community. Also on the backlot, we can build denser and higher environments that aren't usually found nearby. For example, in certain places if it's not being filmed, please feel free to take any photos and videos that you like. As you think about the set, this is our most expensive standing set. And the truck you see right in the middle is an actual 10-ton oil truck. It had to be brought in here by train, and we've modified it for our own specifications. In fact, all the oil... Okay, I guess that's the director. We just need to wait for further instructions. It's just rehearsal, so please feel free to laugh. Is that the beginning? And here's our old invitation I was telling you folks about. Please feel free to take care of it. I'm sorry about this. There's some obvious technical difficulties. We won't be running the hang on. don't worry about it. We'll be passing that archway one more time. But since you went to all that trouble to take your cameras out and all, this is a great time to take a picture of your tour guide. No, that wasn't a joke. Now you laugh. Hi, I'm being videotaped. Wow. Well, first perspective gives the illusion of great depth or great distance, but to the camera lens, it's very convincing, and you'll see that when you get your pictures and videos back. As we wind up and down New York, please take a close look at the building. What may seem like brick, stone, or marble is actually just a mixture of fiberglass and styrofoam put on a 1-inch plywood backing, and the stone buildings have been added a thin layer of flowing concrete for texturization only. Now the bricks that you see on these other buildings are just painted on. There is not one brick in any of those buildings. All those people that you're waving to over there, that's our, you'll see some dirt on the sidewalks, the dirt on the buildings, the oil stains on the streets. In fact, you'll even be seeing some graffiti on the sidewalk. All of it's been painted and added on. In fact, we painted and aged this entire area to make it seem like it's been around here for decades. Actually, New York City's been here for about a year. Now, this arch we're approaching could be the gateway to New York City's Washington Square, or it could double as a town from any small city. And if you don't live in New York City, well, no problem, because we can take down the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building for you. Put up the Sears Tower for Chicago, the Space Needle for Seattle, or leave no distinguishable landmark and just make it any city USA. And busy version of suburban renewal. Now we are pressing the archway one more time, give you the final effective on-course perspective and for any last-minute photographs. And that will bring it into the first part of your backstage studio tour. The second part of your tour is a guided tour through post-production, sound stages, and...
Select any one of those 3 rows, stay with the person in front of you, and continue all the way down, filling in all the available space.
Well, I thought you might want to drive. Come in.
No, I don't want to drive. Just walk. The part of the tour we walk.
Walk. Okay. All right. What's first? Your special effects.
Well, stay with your group. This is the special effects tag, where you see how filmmakers create battle scenes and films in backstory.
Okay, you're now entering the water effects tank and the rest of the backstage tour. Quickly select any one of the 3 rows. You can...
And as such, but we could, if we wanted to, change it to a bright sunny day or a tropical rainforest or whatever we needed for our particular movie shoot for that day. Hello there everyone, my name is Chris and I'd like to welcome you to the second portion of the Backstage Studio Tour here at the Disney MGM Studios. And right now to the world of special effects. Here at our water effects tank, take a look at your monitors please. And the famous squid fight from 20,000 Leagues. Let's see, that giant squid was a monstrous model known as a full-size mechanical effect. And in the Poseidon Adventure, tidal waves that rolled over a scaled-down model of an ocean liner were created by large dump tanks. Now here at the Disney MGM Studios, we have our own dump tanks and our own full-size mechanical effect, our pilot House of Misfortune. It's a mock-up for a life-size recreation of one that you would find on an actual tugboat. And for you folks right here on my left, this is Lisa. She's going to be your tour guide throughout the rest of your tour here at the studios, and she has found us a life-size volunteer. Hi there, what's your name?
Jim.
Jim? Jim, it's been nice knowing you. Why don't you step right on back here and follow Elizabeth on up inside and spin the wheel of misfortune. Now, just a few minutes using Jim, we're going to create a storm scene using some heavy-duty mechanical effects. Hey, Jim! Jim, you want to pull your hood up? Yeah, and you want to pull those strings real tight. Trust me on this. Now we can rock our pilot house to simulate motion on the high seas, and of course this is a violent storm, so Elizabeth's really going to shake him up for us. Now add a little realism to it. I'll add some wind. My assistant Paul's going to add some rain, and you folks will add the sound. Now when I count to 3, I want everyone to yell jump it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now the scenes you just saw shot here are going to be edited together with footage of a miniature tugboat, which was filmed in a tank similar to this using the very same wind and rain effects. Take a look at those monitors and you'll see our completed scene using our miniatures, mechanical effects, and our brave skipper to form a classic high seas storm adventure. time considering we just dumped over 400 gallons of water over our poor skipper. Well, I'd say he weathered that storm very well. Folks, let's give him a great big round of applause. Now while he's getting dried out, you folks to my right, continue following Greg there right on up the ramp to our special effects workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, as you move down and as you come on in, you may want to take a look behind me here on our 40-foot backdrop. And right now it's painted for a storm scene, which is quite appropriate because we're going to be showing you all some stormy special effects in a few moments. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, as you move down, fill all the available space beyond you once it does become available so we can get everyone at the show area. Thank you. Now a little bit more about our backdrop up here. If we wanted to, we could have a group of artists come in and overnight they could repaint it. So it had a sunrise on it, a sunset. They could put a nice moonlit scene up there. Now, my assistant Paul said they should put a ski lodge up there, but that doesn't really match our decor, so we'll just leave it as a storm scene. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to take a look to your left, you're going to see a model of the HMS Prince of Wales. It's a 29-foot model that was used in the filming of the miniseries The Winds of War. We also have two smaller mock-ups of battleships in the tank with me. They are both of the USS Missouri, and they are both featured in our next sequence, our Navy battle sequence. And if everyone would turn their attention to the overhead monitors, please. As you can imagine, recreating a full-scale naval battle at sea could really sink a film's budget. That's why we use miniatures like the ones you see around me in our tank. But how do we make a miniature appear to be cutting through the ocean? Watch and I'll explain. If we film on a flat surface of water, our miniature looks fake, so we add waves. However, if those waves are too large, our miniature looks like a toy boat in a bathtub. To get around this problem, we use large fans to create very small, fast-moving waves, and then we slow everything down to give the scene the proper perspective. We then add smoke, sound effects, and music, and our battle sequence is almost ready to begin. To complete it, we need two things. First, we need explosions, provided by water cannons, like that one right there. And secondly, we need an actor, provided by the group to my left tour guide, Rick. Stop, Captain, Well, I'm glad that's over with. Hurry up, look out, Captain! Well, Captain, it looks like we survived the air attack, but I've got some bad news for you. Right now, there are torpedoes coming in from all directions, Captain, so guess what? You're a dead duck! Ladies and gentlemen, let's watch Captain Duck's explosive performance in super slow motion.
If you look above me on this side, you'll notice an evil robot called Maximilian from the black hole. Hello everybody and welcome. Step on in. Show's about to begin. Well, I'm sure you see by now that special effects really is one of the most fascinating areas in filming. It all begins here in the workshop where artists and technicians spend months designing and creating illusions for the screen. Sometimes the script might even call for a big, ugly creature like this guy. Why, he's okay. He won't do much. I was only joking. Take it easy. It's a little handful with strangers, that's all. From approved sketches, painted sculptures, such as this guy, are created and used as a guide for full-size mechanical props. Sometimes creatures are worked like puppets by off-camera operators who use cable to move them. In other cases, miniature figures are brought to life by a technique called stop-motion animation. In this process, a model is photographed one frame of film at a time while an animator moves it slightly between each shot. When the individual frames are projected back to normal speed, the movement becomes fluid and very real, just like the scorpion from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Miniaturization plays a big part in special effects. That's because there are real cost savings in working in small scale, and it's far more manageable too. The shrieking gun from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Everybody get back. Kids! Kids! That was close. You know, the other day, it zapped one of our guys. Filmed first with actors performing in front of partial sets. In this case, we have the foot of a toy dinosaur. and the footage is projected onto a large sheet of glass while an artist paints in the rest over the scene. When the pieces have been completed, the result can be magical and convincing. See the kids? And Mary Poppins featured extensive matte painting effects work. Here are 2 original mattes. Once again, these 2 paintings are original from the London rooftop sequence of Mary Poppins. Next time you see the film, take a close look at the detail. Okay? See how they use that detail just precisely in that. Anybody see the film, Mary Poppins?
The action I need to give you. Everything you got. I need kicks, screams, terror, okay? Just let loose. Let's get crazy, okay? Ready? And action! Roll it. Go ahead, guys, you're on film. It's your big chance. Beautiful. If you look on the floor, you'll see our being stationary, but on the monitors, it appears to be moving. This is our camera tilting, panning, and zooming to give it the illusion of play. All right, hey, cut. You're on vacation or something. Let's lose a smile this time. Let's have terror because he's about to fall off and you need to save his life. Can you do that? Reach on down. Is he your brother? Can you save his life anyway? Just for the movie? Okay. Ready? And action. Roll it. Renee, reach on down. Reach on down, Renee. Save his life. Save his... Reach. And cut. All right, tune in next week. We'll see how that one turns out. Now, in the original movie, all these elements were shot and assembled on film, but today we're using video so that you can see the results right away. Watch the monitors. You're going to see the playback just like you would at the movies.